You are Locked On Giants Postcast, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR 680. And tonight on Orange Friday, the San Francisco Giants took care of business at Oracle Park, beating the Colorado Rockies 10-5, stopping their win streak at 7 games. Luis Matos had 5 RBIs all by himself, and Marco Luciano picked up his first career big league RBI, and the bullpen tough as nails. But the injury cloud continues to loom as the Giants announce Jung-Hoo Lee is having season-ending shoulder surgery and place Keaton Winn on the IL. We will break it all down, but first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Please hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you're getting the show, we appreciate it. And make sure to tune in to the Locked On Giants daily show for more in-depth coverage. Ben Kaspick does a great job. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets without winning or with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 with any winning $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. Mason Black towed the rubber for the Giants in this one. He looked fairly average at best. He had mistakes up in the zone all day long, cost him big time today, especially early on in that top of the first inning. Looked like it was going to be Colorado adding an 8th consecutive win to that 7-game win streak. I mean, he left some balls up in the zone and leadoff single, and then 3 consecutive doubles for the Rockies before they even record an out, take a 3-0 lead. Mason Black then rebounds, did get out of the inning, and worked through it. In the bottom of the first, the Giants answer back, sorta. Lamont Wade Jr. draws a walk, and Matt Chapman doubles him in from first base. Good job by Lamont Wade Jr. to score from first base on the play, something the Giants have actually done very well this year, is scoring from first base on extra base hits, especially for a team that has dead last in Major League Baseball in steals. They don't have a ton of speed, so that requires getting good jumps, good reads off the bat. The Giants have been doing this all season long when they have the opportunity to. As we know, this team has not hit very well this year, so things like this are important if you're going to figure out how to manufacture runs. But most importantly, other than the Giants shrinking the Rockies' lead to 3-1, this was Matt Chapman's 200th career double, and we should just stop the show right here. Should have stopped the Giants game right there. Should have had like a 5-minute long video tribute for Matt Chapman. I'm sorry, I don't have one prepared for you guys for this monumentous career moment. Of course, if you know what I'm referring to, it is the Jean Segura moment from a few years ago when he hit his 200th career double against the Giants in Philadelphia, and they like stopped the game and did this whole like ridiculous show for 200 career doubles. It was pretty insane, and I'm just sad we didn't get the same thing for Matt Chapman. You know, I wanted a whole ceremony. I wanted him to pick up the base out of the dirt and hold it over his head like Ricky Henderson, and you know, I wanted all that. But you know, I guess when a guy's batting 209, you can't really do that. So, anyways, Matt Chapman, that double drives in Lamont Wade Jr., and Matt Chapman actually had himself a day today. He picked up 2 doubles, went 3 for 4. Scored 3 runs, drove in a run, jumped that batting average all the way up from 209 to 218. So he's still got a long way to go, but a 3-hit night, you will absolutely take it, especially with 2 extra base hits from Matt Chapman. That's the guy we thought the Giants were going to get in free agency. And if he and Jorge Soler can turn it on, maybe there's a chance that this team still can make a push for the wild card for that last playoff spot. I think it's unlikely. I mean, the Giants need a lot of help to get there. They need a lot of guys to come off this injury list and contribute pretty immediately. I mean, I don't know how long you can have half your team on the injured list. I mean, like 12, 13 players on there and on that injury list now. It's just growing by the day. As I said at the top of the show, Keaton Winn, now the newest member of that 15-day injured list. And that's not good for the Giants. Definitely not good for the Giants. Might be good for Mason Black's tenure in with the big league club. Although today didn't bode well for Mason Black's tenure with the big league club. Neither did the top of the second inning. Jordan Beck blasts a solo home run off of Black. It makes the that run that the Giants scored in the bottom of the first just erases it. Rockies go back up by 3 runs, 4-1. Rockies leading there in the top of the second. Then in the bottom of the third, Soler comes up, gives one a ride, but warning track power dies at the wall. The swing looked effortless, though. Maybe he is getting healthier. I mean, there's some positive signs with him driving a ball like that, but you obviously need to see a lot more from Soler. He did pick up a hit tonight. I mean, it was weird seeing him bat leadoff. Very rarely do you see a guy look with that big who runs that slow with that much power batting first. It's much different than Jung-Hoo Lee, who is my preferred leadoff hitter, although we will not see him for the rest of the season as he has season-ending shoulder surgery. We'll get into that a little bit later. But after that home run that Black gave up, he came back out in the top of the fourth and hits Jacob Stallings, the first batter of that inning, and that was all for Mason Black. Clearly didn't have the command today, but he limited the Rockies, I guess, to 4 runs, over 3 innings, though it's not what you want to see. He's been a mixed bag since he's been up, and I think that's what you expect from the young rookie pitcher. He's going to need time to mature, come into his own, figure out what works at the big league level for him and what doesn't. Overall, I like Black on this big league team. I think we're going to see him stick around for a little while longer now that Keaton Wynn's going on the IL, even though Blake Snell should be coming back pretty soon. Got a Blake Snell update for you as well a little bit later. Jean Segura came in the top of the 4th inning after Jacob Stallings got plunked by Mason Black. And Hjelle has been really good this season, man. And today was no exception. He ended up with runners at second and third with nobody out and worked out of the jam without letting a run score. Very impressive. In the bottom of the 4th, the Giants come in and score another run. Yaz doubles after the defender bobbled the ball. And Yaz, who runs pretty well, took an extra base on the play. A Ramos productive out gets Yaz to third, and Matos drives in Yaz. Giants trail 4-2 after that run scores. Matos, that was just the start of it for him. Jean Segura comes back out in the top of the 5th, gets into another jam, 1st and 3rd situation, but gets out of it again with no harm done. And Jean Segura this year, man, he has been absolutely lights out. I mean, he did start the season on that injured list. He was having a issue lingering from spring training, right elbow strain. He missed he missed the first 21 games of the Giants season. His 6 of his 9 outings, though, have been scoreless outings, and this has been great. Another one now. So 7 of his 10 outings scoreless. Over his prior to coming into this one, his prior 7 games, he had 1.93 ERA with 9 hits allowed over 9 innings. And no walks, 14 strikeouts per 9 with no walks. And that, I mean, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Jean Segura has been on one for a while for the Giants, and seeing a dude who's out there at 6'11" throwing like this is pretty fun to watch. And when he first came up, he wasn't throwing this hard. I mean, Jean Segura a couple of years ago was pretty highly ranked in the Giants farm system, pretty highly touted prospect. He was never like a number 1 overall like that or anything, but he's a big dude. Different guy out there on the mound. I mean, with someone being 6'11", the release point's very different. The way he's coming at you off the mound is I mean, it must feel like he's right there when you're standing in the batter's box. I mean, by the time he lets the ball go, he's like halfway from the mound to the plate. So I'm sure 94 from him feels a lot more like 97 compared to where other guys' release points are. So Jean Segura is very effective on the mound. It gives you such a different look when you go from a guy like, I mean, if you're the Rockies, you faced him and Tyler Rogers. I mean, that's like think of where Rogers is releasing the ball but down by his feet, and Jean Segura coming over the top at 6'11". I mean, these release points are like 6-7 or 6 to 7 feet difference in where the ball's coming out of the hand. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's a lot to handle in the batter's box in one game. So kind of an interesting competitive advantage that Jean Segura gives the Giants in another great outing for him. Then in the bottom of the 5th, the Giants started a rally, and it started with a Jorge Soler single. And wow, Soler being the rally starter is something we have not seen all season long. Lamont Wade Jr. comes up in singles. Then Tyro Estrada, laser 3-run home run, just a wide drive that barely cleared the left field fence. His 7th of the season, 104 miles per hour off the bat. His 7 home runs is tied for the team lead with Michael Conforto. And the Giants weren't done. Chapman singles, Yaz singles, and then a Luis Matos swinging bunt infield single down the third baseline scores Matt Chapman. Giants lead 6-4, and from there they just kept piling it on. Top of the 6th, Luke Jackson and Eric Miller patchwork through the inning, only gave up 1 run. And the one thing I did want to point out from this inning is Ramos. We've talked a lot about Elliot Ramos. Now he's been so good for the Giants defensively and offensively. Well, his bat speed is off the charts, but his defense has been really good. Very plus arm out in the outfield, seems to get to everything. He's got good speed, but he had an uncharacteristic error in left field for what we've seen from him the rest of the season, in a small sample size, albeit, but still, line drive hit right at him. And for as much credit as we gave him the other day for making the hardest play in baseball, which is line drive hit right at you as an outfielder, do you break in or do you give it a couple steps back? He breaks in immediately, 2-3 hard steps towards the infield and pulls the e-brake and starts to backpedal, and he could not get his speed back when he's tried to change directions. The ball goes right over his head, and the Rockies score a run on the play. Giants still lead, however, 6-5. And Eric Miller finishes that inning without any more runs, scoring the run charge to Luke Jackson. Bottom sixth, Lamont Wade Jr. has a 389-foot fly out to Triples Alley. It would have been a home run in 21 of 30 parks, but it's Oracle Park. Sometimes that's going to happen. Shout out Brian Murphy. Sometimes in life you're going to get boned. Lamont Wade Jr. on that play, definitely that got boned. And so top 7, Ryan Walker comes in. Nice to see him back on the hill. He was unavailable due to back tightness against the Dodgers. So, that's the last thing you want to hear is a guy like Ryan Walker, who's been one of the few bright spots for the Giants, get just another name to have an injury attached to it. Is not something that we want to be hearing at this point, but records a 1-2-3 inning. Then in the bottom of the 7th, Luis Matos drives in another run on a slow roller down the first baseline. That came after a Matt Chapman hit by pitch and a Mike Yastrzemski walk, and then a wild pitch that allowed Chapman to take third. Giants get a run without a hit. Then Marco Luciano picks up his first career RBI, drives in a run, lofts a gapper to right center field. Good piece of hitting going the other way on a pitch that was low and away in the zone. A little bit of a hanger, but he went down there and got it, poked it into right center field. It was, like I said, his first career big league RBI. Hopefully many more to come for Luciano in a Giants uniform. Giants led 8-5 after that inning. In the bottom of the 8th, Luis Matos just why not? Adds a couple more insurance runs, doubles down the line with the bases loaded, scores another 2 runs for the Giants. A 5 RBI night for Matos with 2 doubles. This kid can freaking play, man. 10-5 Giants lead. And this dude has just been crushing it. Randy Rodriguez came in to finish it off, and he looked okay. He a little bit up and down there, but it's not Camilo Doval in the 9th, and I don't think anyone's expecting him to be. But he gets out of the inning without giving up a run. Giants win 10-5, and everyone goes home happy from Oracle Park on an orange Friday. And we got to get into some of these rookies, man, because Matos, Ramos, Luciano, all these guys playing well. We also got to talk about that lingering cloud of all these Giants injuries, the Jung-Hoo Lee, the surgery, the Keaton win on the IL, but some reinforcements coming as Blake Snell. We got some news from Blake Snell. He did some work down in AAA today. Double-digit strikeouts for him in a rehab start. We'll get into it on the other side of the Locked On Giants postcast. Stick with us. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We will be right back. Today's show is brought to you by Supply House. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades, supplyhouse.com. Supplyhouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your front door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person. I love that every single time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining supplyhouse.com's free trade master program. Every trade master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. That sounds great to me. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/T-M and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and the Giants tonight, 10-5 winners over the Rockies. The Giants had 5 doubles tonight, the most for the Giants in any single game this season. You know who would love that? Jean Segura would love that, and his 200 plus career doubles. And you know who else got 200 plus career doubles? Matt Chapman. I mean, not a great year for Chapman, but nice little moment there, especially, you know, if you love that deep Giants fan throwback stuff, like to those stupid moments like Jean Segura, you know, like that's just one of those moments that just lives in Giants lore. But the real story tonight is the young guns keep firing. Luis Matos had himself a day, 5 RBIs. He has just been on an absolute tear. I mean, he's done nothing but drive in runs since he got into the bigs. I mean, he came up over 4 days. He's got 10 RBIs now, something like that. He's just going nuts at the plate. He seems to be driving in anything that crosses, and he's a guy that's not going to hit a ton of home runs. And the biggest concern we had about him coming into him getting called up was that he's had a hard time hitting big league pitching. He's had a hard time getting that home run ball. I mean, during the Gabe Kapler era, everything was all about launch angle. We kept hearing it, launch angle, over and over and over. And we gotta make his launch angle closer to 24, 25 degrees instead of 20 degrees. That's my Gabe Kapler voice. If you couldn't tell. Anyways, I think I got to get a little bit deeper even to get the Kapler vocals going. But anyways, he wasn't able to lift the ball very much. But I don't really get what the problem is. If the guy's hitting line drives, like gap to gap, sideline to sideline, like this guy is fast, and he if he can hit the ball, like his contact skills is pretty good. He doesn't strike out a lot. I like him. I mean, who cares if he hits a bunch of home runs? The Giants have won 3 World Series without. I mean, you had Barry Bonds for all those years, and the all-time leader in home runs. And how many World Series did that bring us? I don't want to talk about 2002. I really don't. But then you look at what they did in the 2010s. They don't have a single guy hit more than 30 bombs, but they win 3 championships. So you don't need a guy who can drive in. You don't need that big bopper in the middle of the lineup. You don't need that huge bat, the massive home run threat. The Giants had the best one of all time, didn't win a World Series with them. And then they go out there with Cody Ross and get it done. So I'm not saying that one's better than the other. I'm just saying there's lots of different ways to do it. Luis Matos doesn't need to hit a bunch of home runs to be a productive big league player. And he showed you why tonight. I mean, if he can drive in 5 runs on a couple doubles every night, I don't care if he doesn't have a home run the whole season, man. Then you could just do this every night. The Giants be just fine. And so you love to see that. Ramos didn't have the best game tonight. He had a couple productive outs. I think he went 0 for at the plate. Did draw 2 walks. I mean, it's been pretty good though. I mean, getting 2 opportunities to get on base in this game of his 5 at bats, that's not terrible. I know he didn't pick up a hit and that he did have the strikeout, but the batting average still at 281. And Ramos, his one thing I wanted to highlight with him is his bat speed. It's he doesn't qualify to be among the league leaders. He hasn't had enough plate appearances, but his bat speed is an average of 77 miles an hour. And this is kind of a new stat that MLB StatCast has been tracking. And Matt Chapman, when MLB put out this list of the highest bat speeds in baseball, Matt Chapman was actually ranked 6th, which we see what that's done for his batting this year. I mean, he's been hitting the balls hard, a ton of balls hard, just hasn't found many holes yet, but hopefully they're starting to fall. We saw him fall tonight. Anyways, he is 6th highest in MLB with an average bat speed of 76.6 miles an hour. Ramos is faster, about a half mile an hour faster, 77 miles an hour. He would be in tops in the bigs as well if he was qualified, if he had enough plate appearances, which sooner rather than later he will probably be qualified, because the Giants don't have anyone to come back and come in for reinforcements. I mean, Conforto will be here eventually. He's still progressing on his rehab, but it's a lot to ask for. I mean, you're not going to have Jung-Hoo Lee. You're not going to have a lot of these guys coming back. So it's going to be a while before some of these guys are contributing. I think Ramos and Matos both are going to have plenty of opportunities for the rest of the season to play. Marco Luciano too. We saw him get his first career RBI tonight. He should have plenty of opportunities to keep on playing. Nick Ahmed did practice in light baseball activities this week, so he is coming back. Michael Conforto progressing through his rehab as well. One other guy progressing through his rehab, we should get into this real quick before we take a break. Blake Snell. He started for AAA Sacramento tonight, and dude was dealing 10 strikeouts over 5 no-hit innings. And I get that it's AAA, but this is the same thing we said about when he pitched an immaculate inning in the minor leagues. This guy looks like he's healthy. He looks like he's locked in. He looks like he is ready to go, which the Giants need in a big way right now. We didn't think they would be needing pitching reinforcements, but all of a sudden they do. I mean, you got a whole pitching staff on the injured list. You got Alex Cobb, you got Robbie Ray. I mean, you got Keaton Wynn now down there, Tristan Beck. That's 4 starting pitchers on the injured list. My God. Plus Jung-Hoo Lee, who's done for the season after having he sought a second opinion, ends up going with season-ending shoulder surgery to repair that torn labrum. I feel you, man. I've had that same surgery myself. It's not a fun rehab. I've had that same surgery 3 times. It's not fun. Don't recommend, but do recommend Jung-Hoo Lee gets better and back on the field as soon as possible, because the Giants need that in such a bad way, man. Without him, I think that's the difference between them making the playoffs or not, is a guy like Jung-Hoo Lee, a guy who can constantly keep the line moving, get on base, is making plus plays in center field. Without him out there, I mean, you've seen what it's been defensively. Yes, yesterday, Matos did make that amazing play yesterday. That was an off day yesterday. 2 days ago against the Dodgers, he made that amazing play in center field to pull back that home run. But we've also seen him miss several fly balls that we think Jung-Hoo Lee would have been able to get no problem. So it's been a mixed bag out there. It's going to continue to be a mixed bag. Matos is a guy who's going to take some chances out there in center field. Sometimes he's going to get burned. Sometimes he's going to rob a home run and it's going to look really great, but he's not going to be as consistent as Jung-Hoo Lee is. The Giants, they whatever Matos isn't doing in the outfield, though, it seems like he's making up for it at the plate. He's now batting .333. His OPS is over 900. Again, 3 for 5 tonight. The single, 2 doubles, 5 ribbies. Man, this guy really came to play once he came back up. He and Ramos both look like they're angry, like they want to be here, like they are tired of being down in AAA. If you heard Mike Kruko this morning on KMBR, he said very much so the same thing. He said Ramos has been playing like a man possessed, like he just never ever wants to see the Sacramento River again in his entire lifetime. He's just tired of living out there in the valley. He wants the nice, cool San Francisco weather, that nice temperate climate with just the beautiful views, man. What a nice couple days it's been. I really got out there and enjoyed that off day yesterday. I get very few days off during this Giants season, so had to make the most of it. It was a great day out there, man, and hope you guys did too. So I'm kind of curious what you guys do on Giants off days. What you're getting into? Maybe you're watching some NBA playoffs. Let me know in the comments below. But the Giants tonight, 10-5 winners over the Rockies, snapped their 7-game win streak. They were the hottest team in baseball coming into tonight, and the Giants get it done. Moved to 21-25 on the season, 4 games back from 500. It's the never-ending climb back to 500 this season. Stick with us on the other side. We got to take a quick break, but more from this game. We got to break it down on the Locked On Giants postcast. Stick with us. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We will be right back. It's winner take all time in the NBA and NHL, and FanDuel is giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. And currently, the Giants are sitting at plus 320 to make the playoffs. Are you going to roll the dice with all the recent injuries? I think it's unlikely, but if the youth continues to excel, I mean, Luis Matos hits 5 RBIs a night, entirely possible, especially with the expanded postseason. And right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Again, that's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and more with any winning $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and the Giants pick up a 10-5 victory today over the Rockies on Orange Friday. And Christy, I see you. Their winning. The Rockies did start their winning streak against the Giants when they were back there in Colorado. And the Giants bring it full circle, end it here at Oracle Park on Orange Friday. Black got the start today. He did not look great. Keaton Wynn hits the IL. The Giants need pitching to come back all of a sudden. And Blake Snell looks like he is ready to go. And I think Mason Black's probably gonna stay up with the big league club and fill in that Keaton Wynn spot. I don't think he's gonna take Keaton Wynn's next start. That's way too soon. He needs some more rest. We might get a bullpen game. Maybe we get a stretched out Jean Segura game. Who knows? But the Giants will have some opportunities. There's no more Mitch White on the roster, so that's not going to be an opportunity for the Giants. But there's going to be some. Maybe we just get a bullpen game. A couple innings from Hjelle, couple innings from Ryan Walker. That you know how it goes. I mean, throw back to do I really need to bring back Gabe Kapler into this? But throw back to the Gabe Kapler years and how all those damn bullpen games that just absolutely suck. But sometimes you need them. And that might be the case for the next Keaton Wynn start. But Jean Segura, man, I just really quick want to point out how great this dude has been. We talk a lot about ground ball ratings, and we give credit to Keaton Wynn, Jordan Hicks, Logan Webb, all these guys. Jean Segura might be an even better ground ball pitcher than all of these dudes. 64.1% of the time he's getting a ground ball. That's like top 1% in the bigs. I mean, he's not a starter doing this. He's a reliever, but my God, that's still great. He's also getting a strikeout at a 28.1% clip. That's 81% or in the 81st percentile of Major League Baseball. In walk rating, way down, way down, 1.8% of the time. That's top 2% in baseball. So he is, I mean, Jean Segura has been all of a sudden kind of quietly and almost like low key has turned into one of the Giants' better relievers this season. I mean, we kept talking about that reliever A team. Maybe Jean Segura needs to weasel his way in there. It's been, we've seen a lot of Eric Miller. We've seen a lot of Ryan Walker. We've seen a lot of Rogers. Maybe it's time to throw Jean Segura in that mix. I mean, Ryan Walker's still been lights out. Eric Miller's been up and down. That's what you expect from a guy who's never pitched a game above AA until this season. But you see the talent with Eric Miller. I mean, it's undeniable. We saw it again tonight. I mean, the velocity, the movement on his breaking pitches is incredible. But Jean Segura, man, like this is really incredible. What he's been doing, especially the way that he's kind of reinvented himself. This was a guy that the Giants expected to be a starter when he was a prospect and he was coming up in the system. Instead, they end up using him as a reliever. He adds a couple miles an hour to his fastball, not just from moving to the bullpen. We see that happen a lot. You know, when starters move to the bullpen, they bump up the velocity a little bit because they can reach back and just give every single pitch everything they got. But Hjelle also seems to just have added body mass, which obviously is going to increase his velocity on his fastball. That sinker, whatever you want to call it, two-seam pitch now, where you hold the baseball like a two-seam fastball, but apparently it's a sinker. I really hate how we just keep changing all these names of pitches, but I mean, baseball seems to be constantly changing these days, and you got the Manfred runner on second, all those other new age rules that I really hate. And I'm 30, man. I feel like I'm 100 years old when I complain about these things, but stop messing with this game. It doesn't need to be messed with that much. It just really doesn't, honestly. But I mean, I digress. The Giants win 10-5 tonight over the Colorado Rockies. They pick up a ton of hits, 14 hits in this one. Wasn't their most hits in a game that came back when they hit. They collected 16 hits back, I think, sometime in April. So the Giants, one of their best offensive outings of the entire season. We'll see if they can keep it going. They need, in a big way, really need to win this series. I mean, after losing the series to the Dodgers, thankfully you didn't get swept, but the Giants really need to keep winning some games, stay on that never-ending climb back to 500. It's going to be a tough season, especially with all these injuries. Jung-Hoo Lee, that's just devastating, man. Every time I talk about it, you guys can probably tell, I feel like I just immediately get sad. Like, just sucks all the wind out of my sails. Just makes me want to just put my head in my desk and just sigh, take a long, deep sigh, and then take like 10 more because, my God, I'm so upset about this. This was the biggest bright spot for the Giants, and you got to think about the reason it's so upsetting. It's not just this season, man. Like, obviously, the Giants weren't going to win a World Series, but this season was crucial for him to learn Oracle Park's outfield and all of these other outfields that he's playing in for the very first time so he can continue to improve in years to come. This injury really hinders his ability to assimilate into Major League Baseball. And it just, with a guy that's that talented, has that much potential, and this guy could be a perennial all-star for the Giants. And it's just, man, it's devastating to watch this happen. It's also very unfortunate that the Giants have Keaton Winn going on the 15-day IL after he suffered a forearm strain against the Dodgers. I believe he had a forearm strain in that same arm in spring training, so that's not very good. That's kind of concerning. And the Giants injury bug just keeps on bugging because the Giants just keep getting hurt. At least they got the 10-5 win over the Rockies. Am I right? I mean, when you beat a team that's as good as the Rockies. Oh, wait, they only have 15 wins this season. That's right. I forgot. So need to see some more from these Giants. I mean, a win's a win. You play who's in front of you. But 5-5 in your last 10. I mean, you're 12-10 at home. That's kind of nice. But 8-15 on the road. They're 9 games back from the Dodgers. It's a tough road ahead. But you got some things to look forward to. Luis Matos, Elliot Ramos, Marco Luciano, all these young guns coming up, performing well. Matt Chapman seems like he's maybe starting to climb out of this slump just a little bit at a time, day by day. Man, this guy's just grinding up there. Tyro doing his thing. We need him. I barely even talked about Tyro. Another 3-hit day, 3 RBIs for Tyro Estrada. He's been quietly just soldiering on for the Giants, just as he did all of last season. And Soler picked up a hit, gave one a ride. Did draw a walk, still batting just 203 on the season, though. I need my guy to stay off the interstate and keep that batting average above 200. Maybe he could bat his weight. That would be really great. That's about all the time we got for you guys today. We'll be coming out. Well, actually, quick note: I won't be able to do a show tomorrow. Unfortunately, I do need to go to a funeral for a family member. So shout out Uncle Rick. He was a baseball guy too. So I'll be unfortunately doing that tomorrow instead of bringing you guys the Giants post game. But we'll be right back at it on Sunday for the Locked On Giants postcast. Thanks for sticking with us. That's all the time we got for you guys today. This has been the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and we will see you next time. Peace.